What if I told you that in your lifetime you failed to protect your kingdom from the hands of a ruthless sorcerer? What if I told you that for the last century you've been nothing more than a joke, a name spoken in mockery? And what if I told you that the very sorcerer who brought doom to your land has returned, bringing the dead back to life and offering you unintentionally a shot at redemption? This is the story of Sir Daniel Fortescue, and today we step into what he used to call his world, Gallowmere. So sit tight, grab your favorite snack, because today we're gonna play MediEvil. The game starts with a flashback of the war in Gallowmere 100 years ago, where Sir Daniel led the king's army against the forces of Sarek. He was the first to charge, and he was also the first to lose his life. 1 century forward, he re-emerges in the crypt he was buried. The cinematics are over and we can finally control Sir Daniel. This statue on the wall put us up to date on the latest news on X and let us know that we are in 1386. And after being made fun of, we step outside and experience the controls of the game. We collect a sword, a shield, some daggers. Who wants some? We head outside where we're gonna encounter numerous enemies, and we teach them what type of bone we're made of. After defeating a certain amount of enemies per level, we will unlock the Chalice, which is a goblet that will grant us entry to the Hall of Heroes. This is the place where the mightiest heroes of the kingdom rest in peace. We can talk to them for counsel, and after proving our might in battle, they will allow us to wield the weaponry they use in life. In this place, there's also a missing statue of Sir Dan. Reason being, our skeletal protagonist is not worth of this Gallowmere Valhalla. I forgot to mention, part of the reason Daniel gets mocked so much is because to the public eye, it is stated that he defeated Sarek and died an honorable sacrifice. But we know what really happened. We go through every graveyard, killing and killing, slashing and slashing, every zombie, every mummy, until we hit the Hilltop Mausoleum, place where we're gonna fight our first boss. We defeat him with the power of friendship and calcium, as we are now one step closer to Sarek.
There we go.
Shortly after, while getting close to the exit of the graveyard, the guardians of the cemetery make an appearance. 2 wolves. And since we're advocates for undead animal violence, we have no trouble beating them.
There you go.
I didn't see that coming.
Thanks to our latest feats in battle, we pick up the hammer. You should do the same. Get a job. Sir Daniel hears from the horned statues that witches are willing to grant you powers in exchange for our request. So after figuring out how to summon one of them, we meet the witch of the forest that for some reason has some beef with a colony of ants. So we shrunk into ant size and duke it out with the insect community. We exterminate them, and what do we get in return?
Chicken drumstick.
Crossing through the scarecrow fields, we encounter these robot-looking creatures and we successfully defeat them. We advance through the haze and its trials until we make it to the Pumpkin Gorge. We use this location as a segue to defeat our next boss, the Pumpkin Serpent, which happens to coincide with the request of the second witch we encounter. With ease, Sir Daniel proceeds to defeat the fruit on steroids. On this occasion, we are awarded with a dragon gem that we are not quite sure what to do with it, but by now we know that we are on Sarek's trail. Arriving to the sleeping village, we find that the inhabitants are alive but unwell, given that they lost control of their minds and will attack you on sight. Following a couple of completed puzzles, the bad guys decide to make an appearance. We get rid of the lot and leave the town after making sure no one was harmed. By the time that we are back to the Hall of Heroes, Sir Daniel have accumulated an amount of 9 chalices so far. That makes us worthy of this hero's axe, pretty much my favorite weapon in the game. Sir Daniel heads back to the Enchanted Earth, given that he now owns the Shadow Artifact. This object acts like a key for the tomb where shadow demons that once belonged to Sarek's army are sealed, but now they're free, and I don't get that. Like the responsible undead that we are, we deal with the consequences of our actions as we continue in our journey of saving Gallowmere. And at the exact moment that we pick the rune that will lead us to our exit, we are in a floating platform against 2 flying demons. By far the hardest mother flippers to beat in the game. After hitting double digits in retries, we conquer another 2v1.
Oh my god.
Now owning a hammer and a golden shield, we beat all kinds of undead in these ancient pools.
What?
Honorable mention to my biggest enemy throughout the whole game, these kind of jumps. We We arrived to the lake where of course I'm gonna fall a couple more times. Visually one of the most impressive stages considering this game was made in the 98. We collect and collect, we fight and fight all the way to the Galomir Asylum. This stage is pretty much a Royal Rumble. There's even cannons. We cleared the entire asylum and leave Batman without a job. What a broken sword, honestly. I can two-shot everyone in the game. Right at the end of the asylum, what do we find? The mayor and the remaining dragon gem.
What do I do with the dragon gem?
Traveling from right to left, the crystal caves become our next destination. These caves are the lobby of some more imps and some rhinotaurs. These caves finally answered to all my questions.
What do I do with the dragon gem?
We place both jewels in these sockets on the wall, and this red laser pops up because apparently that was like a Discord call to him. Like many other bosses in this game, you gotta figure out a way to beat him. In this occasion, indirectly by making rocks drop on his head. Little Daniel shows him why he's the main character, and he rewards us with a dragon armor that will make us have fire breath and invincible to incoming fire, allowing us to progress furthermore. At this point, we're so close to finding Zarok, so we head to the haunted ruins where the king used to reside in life. In case you were wondering what the chicken drumstick was for, it's a pretty broken weapon. We managed to summon the ghost of the king, and he gives us key information about our antagonist's whereabouts. We take the king's advice to burn down the whole building, given that it's filled with shadow demons, so we set free all the lava that has been conveniently stored for years, setting up the stage for an epic battle and an epic escape sequence. With 17 chalices in hand, Sir Daniel takes the ghost ship that is going in the same direction of Zarok's lair. The captain of the ship hears about our unsolicited arrival and readies his whole crew in order to throw us away. Advancing through this stage was an easy cake, as pretty much everything was set up with traps and incoming undead. The captain of the ship is another boss we defeat with ranged attacks since he's keeping his distance with us. We successfully cleared the ship and we steered away to the entrance of Zarok's hideout. Once in there, the first place we check for him is his library, and we find nothing. Loyal servants step in our way, but not a trouble to Lil Dan and his magic sword. Now deep in the depths of the castle, we fall through a trapdoor, leaving us at a helpless situation, but there's no turning back at this point. We are not that far away from saving Galomir. The gargoyle statue make it known to us that this is where Zarok's plans came to fruition, so we're in for a dosage of puzzles and tricky scenarios. Now on top of a functioning train, we have transportation to the final stage of the game. So we open the needed gates and we're heading towards the evil sorcerer to finally face him. There is no other place he could be hiding. But not before going to the Hall of Heroes one last time. And now that we have collected all the chalices available, we have earned our own statue and a permanent spot in this hall for eternity. Time to say goodbye to the heroes and get our final gift. What do we get? 3 full health potions. We know what that means. Final boss is gonna be a pain in my ass. And it's time. Time to clear our name, end this undead madness, and save Galomir. Be ready. The gargoyle statue warns us before the final stand. Zarok is awaiting our attendance with his fearsome bodyguards. Sir Daniel steps in.
I got a chicken in my hand.
And it's ready for everything. The sorcerer finally makes an appearance and acknowledges that he's not taking us in a 1v1 because he's scared. So he commands his remaining soldiers to face us in battle. And it looks like the odds are not in our favor. Ha ha ha, you are doomed. There's no way you're winning this fight, he says. But what he doesn't know is that we count with the power of friendship. Finally, the final battle is on. As you can see, we cannot intervene in this fight at all, so we proceed to wait and pray for our comrades. We lost the last stand as we couldn't figure it out what we had to do, so Sir Daniel dies and the game ends there.
Hero fallen lost in an
We try this one more time, now with the proper equipment. With the bodyguards defeated, surely it's time for Zarok, right? But he obviously had a Ghost Rider under his sleeve. He's once champion in life, Lord Karduk.
Ooh, scary.
Sir Daniel chews those bones like a good dog, and Karduk is back in the dust again. Zarok's plan, frustrated repeatedly, made him realize that he has to come forward. So he converts himself into a chicken lizard ship. This is not a joke. These are the sounds that he was making as he was turning. After a long time, the final boss of the game is in front of our eyes. Not an easy task to accomplish, taking into account his speed and powers, and only having 1 extra life bottle. Bosses so strong like this one always made me wonder. If you're the most powerful one, did you really have to wait for me to defeat all of your people? you're saying? Our last battle is now won, and Zarok is defeated. He utters another evil laugh before confessing that no one is making it out alive of this domain, and that no one will recognize our efforts because he's bringing the place down. Hahaha, dumb bad guy is defeated, the good guy has won. But he still has to make it out of the lair. With everything falling apart, Sir Daniel is in great danger. Escaping and escaping, explosions and explosions. Our main character makes it out alive, but he's now falling to a certain death. Oh no, there's a conveniently friendly vulture that saves him. On this trip, we can see that Zarok's spells are disappearing from villagers. We are delivered to where the game started, Dan's crypt, where he can finally rest in peace for eternity. His job on Galomir is done. In his forever rest, he wakes up in the Hall of Heroes, place that he now belongs along his other fallen comrades. People are dead quiet, they cannot believe that Sir Daniel made it. So what does he do? He shows what he learned in American Ninja Warrior, takes a cup of wine, and drinks from it, even though he's missing his lower jaw. He is finally recognized like the hero he is, and the game ends. If you liked the video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. It helps me out a lot and might help other people find it as well. I'm really thankful for the comments on previous videos, so definitely let me know what you think this time around, and recommendations of games are always welcome. Follow me in my other socials if you want to discuss the political and economical state of the world, and with nothing else to say, good night.
Cachorrão de